Alright, Jack, unmute your mic, Mock. Bob, unmute it. Very good. Starting off on the right foot, at least. Brother Greg, on in and out. Be sure to check out his latest drop. Tell the children it's out in wherever videos and CDs are sold. Oh, that should have shut up. Now are you going to do the automatic transition? Yay. There we go. Welcome to the bait shop. We're here. We made it. What a week. We've done a lot. We've been very busy this week. Me and Wheezy Mouse been doing a lot, but I've been busy gaming too. And I'm not a gamer. Remember that. I'm not a gamer. Hi, Micah. How are you tonight, sir? Haven't talked to you in a while. Let me turn that music down. It's a little annoying. I know I can't turn it down for you guys, but I can turn it down for me. All right. Well, we're here Sunday night, 7 o'clock. What are we talking about? We're at the bait shop tonight. We are talking about leaders. And why are we talking about leaders? Well, there's a little story to that. I got a buddy that I met through Fishing Planet. He's a fellow fisherman, young man from Australia. Got his head on his shoulders. He likes to fish. He likes to hunt. Him and I we've been doing some hunting lately on the Hunter Classic. And by the way, I think I'm going to start adding some videos, guys. Let me know in the comments tonight. Let me know what you think. Coach and I are going to start doing some videos on on some of our hunting trips in the Hunter Classic. Now, the predecessor to Call of the Wild, the Hunter. That's I kind of like this one a little better. It's a little more realistic for you guys that are hunters. Anyway, cut a long story short, this is it's a pretty decent game, and so Coach. And it's Coach Gaming, my buddy Coach Gaming. He's out there. You can find him on the Discord server. He does a lot. He's pretty active out there. Pretty smart young man. Anyway, him and I were up in a tree stand. We were hunting, and we were chatting a little bit about, the Fishing Planet videos and what Buck was doing in the near future and what we wanted to do. And he brought up a good point about the leaders. And I had talked about leaders in a lot of my earlier videos when we were coming up through about how I don't really use leaders a lot. And I had gotten lazy in trying to create these videos. And a lot of times I just equip a pole from a template, to tell you the truth, grab a pole and go. So you see me fishing with a lot of SE stuff that came from the DLCs. I create so many videos. I have to be in so many places. To do it right, you need to spend a proper amount of time. You need to spend some time at the bait shop before you go out on a fishing trip and get your gear in line. Get it right. A lot of times I'll look at stuff and say, that'll do. And I go with it. And it's not always right. So I apologize for that. And Coach brought that up to me. He says, Buck, a lot of times you just You just grab and go. And I do that. And I apologize for that because that's not what I've taught anybody. That's not what I do in real life. It's quick in the game for me, but it's no excuse. I should be prepping. I should be doing what I preach. I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at. And thank you, Coach, for straightening me out on that. So tonight we're going to talk about leaders, because there's a lot of stuff in this game based on leaders, and leaders in this game are very important, just as they are in real life fishing. Leaders are very, very important. So I got some things going on here. Let me get some of my stuff squared away here. Let's see. We'll play a little bit with this. We'll get that email thing out of the way off the bat, and let's see. So in Fishing Planet, okay, you've got two manufacturers of the leaders that we use in this game. You got Old Chubber, Old Chubber, and you've got who's the other guy that makes it? Magfin. All right, now those are our two manufacturers, and now all the mono leaders are made by Old Chubber. Okay, and then your fluoros and your titaniums are made by Magfin. Now we've got a total of, I was going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6 leaders totally in this game. Right? So you have mono leader. Okay. Now that comes, you can get that in, it's a 0.5 meter, 0.5 yard. It's a 1 meter, 1 yard, 2 meter, 2 yard. And it's those three. It's transparent. All your mono leader is transparent. All right. And those are the sizes it comes in. Now the mono leader is available to you guys from level 1 through 8. So 1 through 8, that's what you get to purchase. And they come in different thicknesses and poundages, of course, and then at level 8, the fluorocarbon opens up. So level 8 up, you can buy fluorocarbons. Now that comes in, that's different sizes. That's a 0.82 feet or 25 centimeters or 9.8 inches. Okay, that's that size. Then you have the larger size fluorocarbon, and that is 1.64 feet, which is 50 centimeters, which is 19.7 inches. Now, there's a reason that I give you this, because these leaders, there's a lot of things where the leaders come into play here. Now, the fluorocarbon comes in clear. All right, so you got transparent mono, you got clear fluorocarbon. Now, remember the fluorocarbon, well, we'll talk about that. Let's finish up. We got titanium. All right, that's the next guy in line. Now, the titanium, again, same lengths as the fluorocarbon, the 0.82, the 1.64, and it comes in black. All right, guys? Now you have, and that's level 8 and up also with the titanium. And then you got your carp leaders. Okay, so your carp leader that comes in a half a yard. That's pretty much it. So that's 18 inches, 45 centimeters. That's what you get for your carp leader. And it comes in weed green color. That's it for there. And you got to be level 35 and above to buy the carp leader. Now, those are the 4 that you can buy in the game. Then, of course, you've got the piranha mission, the mega piranhas and cyber piranha things, okay? And part of that mission, you get a bunch of leaders. You get the electrical leader and you get the adamant leader. So, I mean, you will accumulate those leaders and you can use them after you complete that mission. Those leaders are perfectly fine. They're strong as hell. I don't even know. I haven't broke one yet, put it that way. So, I mean, if you're going to use a leader down there in the Congo, might as well use that one. You didn't pay for it, right? They gave it to you. So use them up. I haven't broke one yet, so I'd say use them. All right, so those are our 6 leaders. That's kind of, now, why and when do we use a leader? All right. Well, I personally, and the coach and I were talking about this in the tree stand, I personally don't use leader unless I'm fishing for trout. To tell you the truth, if even when I fish for pike and I've got a either a crawdad on there or a daredevil spoon on there, I tie them up to my line. If you work the lure right, and you're gonna hit them fish in the lip. They're gonna hit it because that's where they want. They want to eat it. They're gonna bite it. Now, again, you get a monster fish who goes after it. There's a shot, a possibility, but the line is so small. A pike's teeth does not mesh perfectly. I mean, where the break comes is not from the strike. It comes from a long fight, and that line is wearing on those teeth when you got him hooked up in that lure. So that's when you lose fish, and Fishing Planet does this pretty good. You very rarely lose that fish on a bite, and that's the same in the real world. If you fight him too long, you're gonna lose him, and that's the thing. And Fishing Planet is basically the same way. Now, if you're gonna in this Fishing Planet, if you're gonna fish for you guys, that are just starting out and you're getting into this game and you're getting into fishing for the first time, put the titanium leader on there and go for it. You want that on there. You want that on there anytime you fish for, when you're going after guys with teeth, and that's your pike, your muskie, your pyaras, your byaras in this game. What else has teeth in this game? Somebody help me out. Think. I had them written down here at one point. I can't even remember where I wrote them down, but they were written down here. The tigerfish, the bars. Okay, I got them. Yeah, the pike, muskies, tigerfish, bars, all got teeth. Oh, the African pike. So you want a leader on there. And again, they come in different lengths. I find it that when you have a leader on and a lure, you cannot work the lure as well. And I find that to be true in real life also, that if you've got a leader on there. Now, why do we need leader? Well, because when you're trout fishing, now these are trout, and a lot of times your catfish are very sensitive to leader. And you kind of you want something that can't be seen. Now, fluorocarbon sinks more. So if you're fly fishing with a fluorocarbon leader, you need to be wet fly fishing, because if you want to be dry fly fishing, then you need to put mono leader on there because it doesn't sink as much. It doesn't, it doesn't absorb as much water. Now, if you're running a surface lure and you want it to stay on the surface, of course, you don't want to run fluorocarbon line. You want to run mono line. And now, some of the best line out there nowadays is braided line, and because of the strength and the stretch factor, and you can fight things in the ruckus down there if they get into the rocks and in the trees and stuff. However, if you've got braided line on and you're trout fishing, or you want to put leader and you want to put a fluorocarbon. If you're running braid, I think this game don't even let you put mono on braid. I think the only thing you can put on is fluorocarbon. But you want to put fluorocarbon leader on your line. And we're going to be going off on this mission, the Trout I mission. So, I got things rigged up. In fact, let's go over there. Let's go live here and let's take a look at bucks. Oh boy, we don't want to go over there yet. Why does it do that? I don't understand. Oh, that was just one little click. That was pretty easy. Okay, we're live. All right, let's go to Buck's inventory here. Now, the poles we're going to take on this Trophy 1, and that goes in line with the damn leader stuff here. All right, so my first pole is my jig winner. We're going to take him with the Bremer 5000 on him and the Grizzly. That Grizzly, I don't even know where I got him, but that's a nice 1/3 ounce. The Bison spinner. Why not? And I threw a little whitetail on him there. All right. No leader. 2. Now I brought the Loki 7.7. I'm going to take him with a Hornet Swarm 6000 on him. Okay, that's a 24-pound setup right there. Now this is going to be for the bigger fish too, because we have to go after. What are we going on this lake? Where is it? White Moose. Yeah, that's the lake trout where we got to get a 15-pounder or better. So we need him. So we're going to go with that. And this guy should do the job. I've had him out there on White Moose before. And then for you guys, I didn't want to bring any power poles on this because we can do the job with this guy here. And besides, that's just a lot of fun on this Loki. And I need some XP. It takes a long ways to level up now when you get to 80. Seems like I've been going everywhere for like 2 weeks now, and my XP bar hasn't moved. So I need to get down to some smaller poles, a little longer fights, but my XP will be a little better. And that brings me right into Coach's point. And he brought this up to me, and I never really paid attention to it too much because I was the type of guy that, you know, if you catch enough fish, the XP will come. I've always, just because I've created videos along the way, I've always tried to kind of keep my poles within the limits of the waterway that I was on, especially for creating my videos. You know, I don't want to create a video for you guys and I'm using level 70 poles and fishing on a level friggin' 50 waterway. That's just not cool. Now, do I do that now? Of course I do. If I just want to go get the money, I don't care about XP anymore. I mean, I'm leveled up. However, you always want to fish with the lightest gear you can, gives you the best fight. Of course, it takes the longest to get it in, but it gives you the most XP. You will make the most money that way. That's something to remember. And I didn't have oversized poles coming through the game, so that's how I played the game. I was always fishing on a lake larger than what my gear was because I was too cheap to spend the money because I always wanted to wait to get that, you know, that big pole that I knew would work for, you know, multiple waterways, just not the one I was on. That's how you go broke. If you keep buying the poles that's going to work for the next waterway you're on, you don't have any money and you can't travel anymore. So that's the way I did it. And then when I made money, I went back and bought poles that, you know, the nice poles that would be nice to have. All right, so that's what we did there. This is the gear I'm going to take here. And of course, you know, I take my river spear everywhere. And now him, I got a fluorocarbon leader on this guy. This is the one I put the leader on. That would be the only leader I would use here because we're fishing for trout. He is my heaviest stick. And I've got 53-pound gear on here, but I only put a 39-pound leader. I mean, I'm not expecting, you know, even, you know, I'm looking for 15, 20-pound fish. Even if I catch 30-pound fish on this, it'll work. So this is a good setup right here. And I figured this is what I was going to go after the big lake trout on. And, you know, probably I could catch that 15-pounder on this Loki with no problem. So if we get him, and which is nice because this is the 1 1/4 ounce. This thing will drop to the bottom faster. I can fish this faster. I don't have to wait for it to drop. I can fish it deeper. This one here, very light. I'm going to fish it top to middle water column. Otherwise, I'm waiting too long for it to drop to the bottom. And it's, you know, it's only got a 1/0 hook on it. It's a small. It's just for here. Unfortunately, the spinner baits aren't like crankbaits and things like that, where you can get a lightweight lure with a great big hook on it. It's tough. It's tough to build that. So we've got enough sticks that we'll be able to handle that guy. All right, so let's talk a little bit about these fish. We're going after, well, there's so many fish that I like trout, and there's a lot of trout in Fishing Planet. And what we're going after in Mission 1 and Mission 2 is we're going to go to Falcon. We need a rainbow trout. All right, now the rainbow trout, that's originally from the West Coast, is where that fish came from. It's native from California all the way up to Alaska. Now, that particular fish is, I mean, everybody chases it because of just the way it hits. It hits on flies, it hits on, cheap baits, insects, and it's brutal, and it fights like hell, and it comes up out of the water. It's it's a great fish to fight. That's all I can say. It's a great fish to fight. Which one do I want? I want the left one here. Oh, nope, that one goes here. That should be there, and this should be there. Nope, that's fine. That's there. That's it. Well, there we go. There we go. All right. So, and Alaska is still considered the mecca for rainbow. All right. Now, steelhead. Now, that's in the game. That's in the second mission. We're going to have to go after steelhead at San Joaquin in California. So, we're going to go after that one. Now, steelhead's nothing more than a rainbow trout that lives in salt water. Now, what they do, the steelheads, is they live in the salt water, and then they come up into the rivers, the brackish water there to spawn. And the steelheads are one hell of a fighting. I mean, you latch on, and in this game, if you latch onto those steelheads in California, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, you got yourself a fight, and you can catch steelheads on light gear. So that was kind of my point with the river spear in my arsenal, because it's very light gear, 57-pounder. I'm not going to get yanked around. In fact, that river spear is going to land those steelhead in mission 2. So we'll be good there. So what other trout? I mean, we have a lot of trout in this game. I didn't count them all up exactly. Oh my gosh! But there's a ton of them, and in the missions here, we only have to do North American trout, so we're not doing any of the trout overseas. Okay, so we got in mission 1 here, we're going to the golden trout, the lake trout, and that's moose, boom, boom, and then number 2, we're going to St. Croix, white moose, and California again for the splake, the trout, the steelhead, the brown trout. Now the brown trout, which is odd, okay, because the brown trout's not native to the United States at all. The brown trout comes from overseas. In fact, brown trout only originate in 2 places. I mean, they come from 2 different things. It's called the Levin strain from Scotland, and it's it's either native from the native forests of Germany. That's where the brown trout comes from, and he's a hell of a fighter. I mean, he's a persnickety some bitch there. That guy don't. He's a tough one. That's the prize trout in my book. I mean, you can catch rainbows all day long on flies and imps. That's probably, I mean, they got us because we don't have fly gear. If we had fly gear, the optimal way of catching trout is on fly gear. I mean, because they love the insects, and that's why if we're fishing in this game with our float rods, the mayflies, the crickets, the flies, the grasshoppers, salmon eggs, stuff like that. But if you throw flies out there, especially in the springtime with trout, that's where it's all at. That's where they run like hell. Especially them rainbows, you up on a fly rod, you got all that action. It's just wonderful. All right, so anyway, that's what we're going after. Now, what else are we going after? Then in the second one, the splake, we talked about that. Now, the splake is just, again, that's a, manufactured, they bred that between a brook trout and another female. It was a male brook trout and a female. Damn, I wish I could figure out where that was. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one. I'm pretty sure it's the rainbow. It was a brook and a female rainbow, and you get the splake. What else are we going after? The lake trout, steelhead. We talked about what steelheads are. Oh, and the golden trout. Now that's native to the Rocky Mountain areas. And that's where and it runs all the way down from, as far as Washington to New Mexico, all the way down the Rockies, you're going to find the golden trout. And, it's basically, it's the Oregon red banded and the golden trout. I think the Oregon red banded, I believe, is more swings towards the rainbow. I'll have to do my homework on that one. Don't quote me on that one. Than the golden trout is. All right, what other notes did I talk about? Oh, trout in general. All right, let's talk about trout in general. It's spring, right? It's spring here right now. So if it's spring where you're at, the ice is thawing out. Now is a great time for, I mean, because you have a restricted oxygen concentration point. So your trout are going to be living within 10 feet of the surface because there's just not enough oxygen down deep. So in the spring, that's what's so sweet. And you got the bugs that are just coming out, the larvae that are breaking and hatching from the bottom and floating up. And when you're hunting trout, you pay attention to that. There's like they'd say there's 4 different types of, you have the little nibble where they're hitting surface bugs that are floating on there. And then you got like kind of what they call the slurp, which is more, you can see the lips and the gulps where they're actually eating, hatchlings and stuff of larvae that are floating on the tops. And if you're not seeing any trout mouths coming up, but you're seeing the dorsal fins, then that tells you that the trout are eating on the cycle of insects that are being born in the water, and now they're coming up through the water column to come out of the water and burst and fly. So if you're seeing a lot of activity and all you're not seeing any trout mouths up there nibbling on the surface, then they're hitting on. So you want to throw something like something that starts its life cycle as a larva in the water on the bottom. And that's what, so there's a lot to the trout fishing. You can go on and on and on, and with all the different, we call them wives' tales, I guess, when you sit around the bait shop. It's wives, what this guy knows, what that guy knows. But, you listen to a lot of guys over the years that are really good at catching trout, and they know the bugs, they know the cycle of the insects, because trout are big insect eaters. And for those of us that hunt trout and fly fish, it's how you tie your flies, what they look like. Do they look like a larva? Do they look like something that's fell out of a tree? It all depends on the season. And it's a lot of fun to challenge your wits and your techniques about that. So that's what we're going. That's what leaders are all about. All right. Leaders are very important in trout. Now, in this game, something that Coach wanted me to bring up, and I almost forgot about it. If you fish with a leader in Fishing Planet, it's not much, but it is there. You have a deficiency in XP. So if you're fishing without that leader, think about it. If you're fishing without that leader, you got to be a better fisherman. You got to, it's because you don't have the protection, and you get more XP if you fish without the leader. Now, you don't want to lose expensive lures. So, I would suggest that, because of the fact of what Fishing Planet does and the wear and tear, if you're on really strong gear, you can fish without a leader and you can yank the fish in pretty quick, and you won't lose it because of the teeth and the wear and tear. However, if you have light gear, and I would suggest you use a titanium leader if you fish for anything that has teeth in Fishing Planet. That would be, and I think Coach would agree with me. Oh, Coach, lake trout and brook trout. What about lake trout and brook trout, Coach? I didn't see you were here. It's 7:24. I'm about to end. What do you mean, lake trout or brook trout? They don't have teeth. But you need to use a leader because you need to use a fluorocarbon. I would suggest always using fluorocarbon leader if you're going to fish for big trout. Trout are finicky about the line. Braided line, monoline. Now you can get away with monoline if the weather conditions are right and it's not too cold. Monoline gets stiff in the cold, so that's an issue with that. The knot strength is the same as fluorocarbon. It floats better than fluorocarbon, that's for sure. Blake, he just keeps typing fish. I don't know what he's talking about. I'll talk to him in a minute. Don't forget. All right. What are we at? Oh my gosh, we're almost there. Let me go back to me for a second. Oh, that doesn't look good at all. We typed too many keys there, Buck. All right, let's get that going. All right, I think that works. We can go to there. All right, guys. There we are. Now there's all of our all of our leaders that we got in the game. Okay, this is the news. Okay, I think we have to do this first. There we are. There's the news. Okay. Don't forget tonight, 8 o'clock, we're fishing with Buck. We're going to White Moose. And there's a reason for that. It's a level 22 lake. It's still for you guys that are down there and like to fish with us, that's been fishing with us. You can get there. So it's not much higher. Hopefully you fished through the last week and a half and that we were down at level 18 and now we're up here. So you should be able to hit here. We're gonna get here at White Moose and we're gonna fish for some big trout. We talked about all this stuff. That's in our next mission. That's where we're going to be fishing for the trout. However, I'm not going to fish for these big trout with my spinning equipment, with my spinners. I want to complete the mission tonight. So we're going to go up there and we're just going to catch big trout, get prepped up for this, learn the lake a little bit, fish tonight over there. Okay, you know, we're going to bring our live baits. We're going to bring our shads. These big trout hit on the shads. They're lovely, lovely on the shad. Especially you get something like a 5-6 odd hook with a 6-inch black shad. These lake trout love it up here. And we'll be fishing with some of them tonight. We'll be fishing with some large minnows, some shrimp, some spawn sacks. I figure we'll go up tonight on fishing with Buck. I can make all my money while I'm there tonight and then not have to worry about it when we get there with the mission. So, oh, and don't forget we have the Discord, and that's a good invite link. That's a good link there, so you can get to the Discord. We got channels open, so you can drop in. You know, if you can only stay for a while, stop in and say hello. Stop in and hit me up with a question. Let me know. Stop in and hit me up with what you think I should do a video on next. Whatever. That's where I live at over there on Discord server. I want to thank you guys for watching tonight. Remember, never ever give up the fight. We got a lot of good things coming this summer. The weather's starting to break. Buck's got the boat ready. Wheezy Mouse is getting the camping gear ready to go. Oh, we're going to catch some fish this summer, fellas. All right. Okay, Splake is the crossbreed between a brook trout and a lake. It was the lake trout, female, brook trout, male. Thank you very much. I knew it was one of them female lake trouts, but it's the male brook trout that makes the Splake. All right, guys, we'll see you later. I hope that I see you at 8 o'clock with Fishkin' with Buck, where we're headed over there to White Moose, and we're going to just catch some of these big old trout. Remember, never ever give up the fight. We'll see you later.